Hey guys, it's Tanner with Fresh Start, and today I'm going to do something a little bit different. Today is a video log, and the first one that I've ever done, and I'm pretty excited about it. I decided I'm going to start doing these instead of more structured videos with big long lists, and that way you can kind of get that side of me, but also more off the cuff and my general overall opinion on certain topics. So today's topic is supplements, and I want to talk about three. Creatine, protein, and pre-workout. And then I also want to spend a little bit of time on vitamins, but these are the main three that I like to take in my workout regimen. And again, these are supplements. They're meant to supplement your normal diet, okay? So you should never rely on these supplements wholeheartedly. They should only help. Okay, so first up, creatine. Creatine is also known as creatine monohydrate or creatine monophosphate. Creatine monophosphate, let's focus on that phosphate part of it, right? Our body uses ATP, or adenosine triphosphate, for energy. Creatine monophosphate, or creatine in itself, just attaches itself to one phosphate and gives your body a little bit extra energy. It's more quick energy, but that's not important. Basically speaking, you can only put so much in your muscles. And then they're termed saturated. And in order to have your creatine store saturated with a natural diet, you'd have to eat several kilograms or several pounds of meat in order to do that. It's just not realistic every day, right? So what a lot of people do is supplement 3 grams a day, 3 to 5 grams a day. And then you also can have a loading phase, get as crazy as you want, where you take 3 to 5 grams 5 times a day, or 10 to 15 grams, or 15 to 20 grams for 5 or 6 days. That's not the conversation I want to have. All I'm telling you about is that creatine is one of the most tried and true research substances, or supplements. It'll give you a little bit of strength. It'll help you a little bit with hypertrophy and recovery, and there's almost zero drawbacks unless you have some kidney issues, which, of course, that's why I'm telling you you need to talk to your doctor about this kind of thing. So next up is protein. Protein, you can talk about it for hours and hours and hours. There's all different kinds of protein. Primarily, I stick to whey and casein. Those are both milk proteins. They're the most anabolic. It's been shown by studies. I don't really care. If you want to debate that, that's great. Vegans, woo! Like, I'm not vegan. I don't care if you are, but your protein's not the best. But it's better than no protein. So my main point with this is I want to tell you guys, any protein is better than no protein. A lot of people are very good at marketing, and they'll tell you that our protein is the best, it's the fastest absorb, it's the best taste, it dissolves, like, really guys, come on. If that was your sole job, was to sell a certain type of protein, you would probably be very good at making other people believe that yours is the best. When in reality, they're all pretty much the exact same. When you look at the list of macronutrients on your protein, I recommend first finding one that's cheap, and then finding one that's cheap that tastes good. And you might have to go through a few. I go to Costco or something like that and buy a big bulk of vanilla because it's hard to mess that up. I get one that has fairly low carbs and almost no sugar, so less than 10 grams of carbs, minimal to zero sugar, and then 20 to 30 grams per scoop. Pretty simple, right? Have 1 scoop a day. Sometimes have 2 during workouts. But anyway, keep on moving with this conversation. Before you say, I don't need protein, I just want you to think about this one point. As you age, has your hair gotten better? Has your skin gotten better? I mean, you feel stronger every day? You feel limber, like everything? Or do you slightly feel worse? Yes, that's a rhetorical question. Everything gets worse as you age. The only thing that gets better is your mind, like wisdom, decision making. That's supposed to improve, but as you can see, like, I don't know. We'll leave that one over there. But anyway, your body's processes definitely start to fail. They start to get worse. Why does our skin start to stink? Why do we just randomly lose the subcutaneous fat on our skin? You start seeing bags. Anyway, if, when you age, you need more things because everything else is getting bad, why then do we have this weird belief that as people age, they need less protein? That's ridiculous. And in fact, I can think of 5, 6, 7 people off the top of my head that are 50 plus that I've told to have more protein and they feel better. A lot of them even lost more weight. You know who never told them to have more protein? Their doctor. Never. They're like, yo, you're not a strapping young growing boy. You don't need protein. It's like, what? Anyway, that's why I'm doing this. Part of those reasons, because most doctors are idiots. They are very good at standardized tests. Great. They're very, very bad at knowing or even just making basic observations. Medicine is so algorithmic these days that they don't actually really think. And the doctors that do think and still use the algorithms are like dinosaurs now, and they're slowly fading out. So never mind, neither here nor there. The next supplement on this list is pre-workout. Pre-workout to me is more of a ritualistic type of thing. I do it because it gets me in the right mindset. It's got beta-alanine, which makes you tingle. It's got caffeine, which makes you go. Yes, they usually have creatine in them and some B vitamins and things of that nature that pep you up. But as a little side note, I think if you spend more than 25 or 30 bucks on pre-workout, you're getting ripped off. Look at the ingredients. 100 to 200 milligrams of caffeine. Cool. Beta-alanine. Cool. B vitamins. Cool. Creatine. Whatever. We take that anyway, right? It's cheap. It's very cheap. It should be cheap. Pre-workout is one of the most overpriced things other than BCAAs, which branched chain amino acids are literally like, they should be criminal to sell. Don't ever buy them. Don't ever use them. They're so pointless. And unless you're on an island and all you can eat is greenery, because vegans and vegetarians are some of the most nutrient deficient people. Anyway, it's pointless. Anyone who tells you it's not is trying to sell you something, or they have no idea what they're talking about. So pre-workout for me is something that's good. It gets you pepped up. If you're in your 50s, 60s, have some heart conditions, let's talk about it. Can you even do a stress test? I don't know. Probably shouldn't take pre-workout then, you know. Can you do a double shot of espresso and feel okay afterwards? Great. Maybe let's do some cardio first and get your base level of cardiovascular conditioning increased before we start doing pre-workout. Or maybe you just don't do it at all. Again, all conversations that we can have later on down the road. But it's still my third most important supplement for regular gym goers and people trying to get into shape. The last thing I want to talk to you about today in this rant is vitamins. Vitamins to me are extremely controversial because everyone wants to tell you that they're either pointless, that their vitamin is great, or that things like one a day and stuff is just it's just stupid. It's dumb. You should never do it. And to that, I always find it very interesting, right? Whenever we see people who are deficient in something, like say thiamine, they have Wernicke encephalopathy or something like that, we give them thiamine, right? Whenever you have hypocalcemia, we give you calcium. Every electrolyte abnormality, we try to correct it, and we do it IV, right? But the golden rule of medicine is if you can do something orally, do it orally. Yes, that is a rule. Anyway, so think of it this way. If your vitamin D is low, you're like everybody else, you never go out in the sun. Depending on where you live, kind of dictates how long it takes you to be out in the sun. Your doctor might prescribe you vitamin D. A few thousand IUs units a day, right? 3 to 5, somewhere along there, depending on what your level was. And it goes up. You took a vitamin and that level increased. So why does everybody just dump on multivitamins that aren't, $30, $45, $50 a month? It's ridiculous. Take a one a day. It's like a rusty hand grenade, okay? You pull the pin on it and you let go. Does it blow up? I don't know. Maybe some of them will. So for me personally, I don't pull the pin on the rusty hand grenade and I take my multivitamin. Because if, for instance, 20, 30, 40 years down the road from now, somebody else pulled the pin and it never went up, boom, explodes, they're dead by something that could have been prevented by a multivitamin. And now I know you say that's crazy. That one multivitamin, blah, 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 blah. But okay, before I go, let's try and find how many reactions, or what percent of reactions in the body involve electrolytes. Sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium, or even basic stuff. Copper, zinc, whatever. You take all the stuff that's in your vitamin, almost impossible to find a reaction in your body that doesn't have that. So then, let's take how long it takes for those nutrients to become deficient in, right? And most of that stuff's like, you don't see it a whole lot in first world countries, okay? I'll try to get to my point here. But basically what I'm saying is, if you can go 0 days of your entire life without being deficient in one of these vitamins that is in a multivitamin, wouldn't you do it if you could? They're used in so many different things that if you're deficient in it, your body can keep going, but who knows? You know, just takes one cell to have cancer. Anybody ever think about that? Like, I don't know how many neurons it takes to have a heart attack, but, nerves, for instance, to have an arrhythmia. Probably everything starts with one, right? That might sound really stupid or ignorant, but it's the truth. It's the truth. It's simple. Take a multivitamin. I don't care what it is. If it's a gummy or a Flintstone, and if someone tells you not to, tell them to go fly a kite. Because it's like the simplest thing you can do. Find somebody who struggles with concentration. Find somebody who wakes up and they're just, they're so out of it, anhedonic. They just don't want to do anything. And give them magnesium. And then if you give them a magnesium pill and they don't feel any better, double it. And I don't want you to go super far on this because magnesium can make you a little nauseous. It's a salt, right? Okay, let's see. 4 or 5 people off the top of my head, that magnesium alone has made them feel better. Now let's say this. What if it was a placebo? What if it was not real at all? Doesn't matter. They're taking something that costs a few dollars, cents, pennies on the day, and they feel better. Who's crazy? You know what I mean? So anyway, that's my little video log rant for the day. I really don't like supplement companies. I think they're ridiculous. I think it's so simple and it should be so cheap, and they try to sell you on so much stuff. Like, it's just insane. Like, go to Sephora and just look how much stupid stuff is there to put on your skin when an aspirin face rub is probably one of the best things you could ever do for your skin. But maybe I'll talk about that. I don't know if you want me to get into cosmetics. Dermatology is kind of, It's really difficult to talk about because it's the hardest residency to get, but then they're the hardest doctors to see. But most of the time, they only recommend chronic treatments like steroid creams and things of that nature. So they did the best on their tests. Cool. They are really hard to see, therefore very expensive. Cool. Fewest residencies. It's so prestigious. But the vast majority of them are morons. Like, they're geniuses. But whenever you ask them about, what about fasting? What does fasting do for your skin? How is that related? Okay, well, autophagy or autophagy, look that up. Look up what gets recycled. White blood cells, mast cells, everything. Look up what causes allergic skin reactions and things of that nature. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff that's related, and I could rant about this crap all day long. All I'm trying to do is give you a little bit of a snapshot of my brain and all the stuff going on, and maybe make you think about some of this. So when you hear something from health practitioners or certain fitness YouTubers or influencers, take it with a grain of salt. Most of them are trying to sell you something. Some of them aren't, and maybe some of them are trying to sell you something that's actually a good product, but you need to keep your guard up. And if you're trying to spend a crap load of money on supplements, really check yourself. Stop and evaluate what you're doing, because there's no vitamin on earth other than steroids. Kidding. That's worth spending a ton of money on. People can like organic and cage-free and all this BS you about food all they want, but whenever you snapshot nutritional value between the two, it's not as different as people think. It's really not. Like, it's kind of obnoxious, but I hope you guys have a great day. And I hope you enjoyed my rant. So you take care. This is Tanner with Fresh Start, doing my first vlog rant ever. Have a great day. If you have any questions, email me at freshstart.ask@gmail.com. See you next time.